Joe Cooley writes into Beyond at IGN.com and says, Dear Greg, Brian, and the magical third chair of rotation, Beyond. Justin, listen up, because this one pertains to your life.
Lay it on me.
My daughter was born on the 23rd of December. My wife and I named her Liara after the much-loved character from the Mass Effect series. When we explain to people where her name came from, we are mostly greeted with funny looks and discouraging comments. My question is, why would naming your child after a video game character be met with ridicule, but after a character from a book or movie is perfectly okay? Joe Cooley.
Man, I don't know. Fuck those people. Like, it's your family. Do whatever you want.
Right. Yeah. 100%. I believe it. Yes, fuck them indeed. But I mean, I think right now it's what we always talk about on this show, right? Is that there's still a generation that has grown up with video games not being anything more than Mario punching a block and saving the princess.
Yeah, that's true. People don't understand. I still will, you know, if there's parents-in-laws or people coming over to my house and they see, you know, I don't know, GTA or some game like that, they're like, oh, they had like no idea that games had voice acting.
Right, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, so I understand that. But I also think just because a character is named after... Like, I'm assuming that you named your daughter Liara because you played Mass Effect and you just really, really like that name. It's not like you have it tattooed on your lower back or something like that. Like,
I mean, there's two things there, right?
Sure.
Like, you either named your daughter Liara because you love the character in that game.
Right.
Which is kind of tough to expect your daughter will grow up to be a character that you love in real life.
I don't think it's that.
Or you named it Liara because that's a great name. Because it's a really cool sounding name and it's original and it's unique. I think you can explain that to people by saying this is great work of fiction called Mass Effect 3.
That's exactly right. Like, you see, ever since the movie The Bridges of Madison County came out, Madison has been one of the most popular women's names, name for little girls, little baby girls. And it's not because everybody loves that movie, but it's just that put the idea in their brain. And they're like, oh, I like that name. Like, it leads, the one leads to the other. So, I don't know, man. Like, I'm super excited to be a dad because, like, we get to have this family. Like, my wife and I are set in our ways. Like, we're living our life. We have our little house, and now we get to introduce somebody new to that and be this, like, unit of, like, unique, special people on our own. And it definitely gives me a feeling of, like, I don't care what anybody else thinks. Like, this is how we're going to do things. This is how we're going to dress her. Like, this is what we're going to name her. So,
by the time did you say daughter?
Yeah.
Okay, by the time your daughter, I want to make sure I heard everything correctly, is old enough to be having kids, babies having babies, video games will be an accepted part of
like 15 years from now.
Fictional society. Well, no, not like that.
I really don't think this is a blame this on video games being part of a fictional society thing. I think that if he had said, this is my daughter, she's named after a Star Trek character.
Yeah, I named her Arwen from Lord of the Rings.
Sure, somebody
would have been like, well, why? Instead of just being like, I really think that Data is a cool name.
I guess it boils down to, I'm talking about people being judgmental in general. Like, this is one thing that I've learned that I'm becoming a dad, is that everyone has an opinion on how you need to do things, how you should be doing things, what's right, what's wrong, and I say F all of them.
Yeah.
Like, listen to some advice, sure, but, like, live your life. Like,
whoa. Yeah. And don't go chasing the papers.
Just live your life.
Whoa. That's a Rihanna song.
I know. It just took me a while to figure out.
To catch up to where we were?
No, I heard it.
Okay.